Because you will talk to and I'm will play it in your face, over and over and over and over and over again, and she'll be like, watch what I'm about to do, watch what I'm about to say. And it's sad that a nigga like to, really like to play games with me when I'm at my most vulnerable time, when I'm not the most confident. He likes to play games with me because he knows I'm not an easy girl. And I've really been sparing you. You've been feeling yourself, nigga, because of your album and and you really been doing me dirty after some years that I'm up your ass. Not even a thank you that I got for your. And it's so crazy that I gotta go fucking internet because whenever I tell you something, you don't take it seriously. And I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of it.
This one is dark because Cardi B didn't just walk away over another Offset cheating headline. According to new reports circulating online, this situation went way deeper. Things allegedly spiraled after Cardi found out that her own sister, Hennessy, may have crossed a serious boundary involving Offset, and once that information surfaced, it changed everything. Suddenly, the silence between the sisters, the distance, the tension that fans couldn't quite explain all started to make sense. Cheating alone never pushed Cardi to this point before. Public embarrassment didn't do it either. She stood by Offset through multiple scandals and defended him publicly when most people would have already been done. That's why when Cardi finally snapped on live and went off on Offset, people knew something heavier was happening behind the scenes. That reaction didn't come from another rumor or headline. It came from a situation that cut deeper than usual. Now, people close to the situation are saying this may have been the real breaking point, not just the end of the marriage, but a strain on family relationships too. This wasn't typical relationship drama. This was betrayal layered on top of betrayal, and that kind of situation changes how people move. And honestly, this might be one of the most shocking rumors we've heard in a long time. It also helps explain why fans noticed Cardi and Hennessy weren't as close publicly, weren't posting together, and weren't showing up the same way, according to reports. For a long time, everyone assumed Offset's cheating was the reason Cardi finally walked away. But when you really look at the history, that explanation alone doesn't fully add up. No shade and no blame, just context. Offset had cheating rumors before they even got married, and Cardi still went through with it. Even after the wedding, when more issues came out, she defended him heavily, sometimes putting herself in a bad position just to protect his image. So if cheating wasn't enough before, something clearly shifted this time. Whatever happened finally made Cardi choose herself, and now the timeline is starting to make more sense. Remember when Cardi straight up told the world how she felt about all the pressure being thrown at her? She said, "It's like everybody is coming down my neck. Like, why are you not leaving him? I'm rich. I know I'm talented. I know I could get any man I want, but I want to work out my issues with my man, and I don't got to explain why. This is my life. I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to decide on my own." She didn't stop there either. Cardi also admitted, "It's not right what he did, but people don't know what I did because I ain't no angel." That alone made it clear she wasn't trying to play perfect or act brand new. She was owning her choices and standing on them. And if anyone still thought cheating was going to make her walk away, Cardi shut that down herself. She said, "Well, if people are talking about it and keep asking me how I feel about the situation, why do I let them know right or wrong? No, what's not right is for a man to cheat. But what do you want me to do? Go sleep with another man, start all over again, and get cheated on again?" Then she added something that really stuck with people. "This stuff happens to everyone, and it could be you too. People handle their relationship different." That wasn't denial. That was her explaining why she chose to stay and fight for her marriage instead of folding under public pressure. And she really did stick by Offset through scandal after scandal. There were so many cheating rumors that most people lost track. Still, for a while, it looked like Cardi finally reached her limit. That's when the whole situation with Pri came out. The story about Offset allegedly getting another woman pregnant, and then Pri's friend Blue putting everything on blast online. At the time, that felt like more than enough reason for Cardi to mentally check out of the marriage. Not only was he cheating, but he wasn't even being careful anymore. Most people accepted that version of events and moved on. So imagine the shock when new whispers started floating around saying the real issue wasn't just Pre at all. According to some sources, Cardi allegedly found out that Offset and Hennessy may have had a wild night together. Now, to be clear, nobody is saying Hennessy was plotting to steal her sister's man. Even the streets have been saying for a long time that Hennessy couldn't stand Offset because of how he treated Cardi and how reckless his cheating had been. Some people might remember that a while back, an insider claimed Hennessy had serious concerns about how Offset was treating Cardi. According to that source, Hennessy believed Offset was love-bombing her sister. The pattern was hard to ignore. Every time he got caught cheating, he'd suddenly go big with grand gestures meant to pull Cardi back in. One example that always comes up is when Offset proposed publicly after cheating, even though they were already married behind the scenes. Another moment people still talk about is when he crashed Cardi's Rolling Loud performance, got on stage, and begged her to take him back in front of tens of thousands of fans. To some people, it looked romantic. To others, it looked calculated. So, what changed everything? Sources are now claiming that Offset allegedly got Hennessy intoxicated, and while she was under the influence, pressured her into a situation involving another adult man. The details after that are unclear, but according to insiders, things spiraled fast once Cardi found out. If you remember that live session where Cardi went off on Offset, insiders are saying this is what triggered it. At the time, people could tell something serious had happened because Cardi's reaction wasn't her usual response to cheating rumors. This was raw, angry, and personal.
Talk to and will play in your face, face over and over and over and over and over again, and she'll be like, watch what I'm about to do, watch what I'm about to say. And it's sad that another like to, really like to play games with me when I'm at my most vulnerable time, when I'm not the most confident. He likes to play games with me because he knows I'm not an easy girl. And I've really been sparing you. You've been feeling yourself, nigga, because of your album and and you really been doing me dirty after some years that I'm up your ass. Not even a thank you that I got for your. And it's so crazy that I gotta go fucking internet because whenever I tell you something, you don't take it seriously. And I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of it.
If those claims are true, it goes beyond relationship drama. Someone allegedly crossing that kind of boundary with a family member would shake anyone. That's not just about trust in a marriage, that's about respect, power, and lines that should never be crossed. Unfortunately, it also reportedly caused tension between Cardi and Hennessy, even though sources say it wasn't technically Hennessy's fault. Still, emotions don't always follow logic, and Cardi would be justified in feeling conflicted about the whole situation. They weren't on the best terms for a while, according to reports. And this context helps explain why Cardi's family allegedly started putting pressure on her to officially walk away from Offset back in 2024. When the issues stop being private and start affecting the entire family, that's usually when people stop telling you to wait it out and start telling you to leave. A blind item later surfaced that added even more context to everything. According to it, Cardi's husband was moving reckless while fully knowing how much pressure she was already under. The blind claimed her family wanted her to leave because they were genuinely worried about her health due to how often he cheated. The situation was described as messy from every angle, and the person behind the blind even said, "I love Cardi for real." The same source argued that Cardi should have walked away the first time and spared herself years of emotional drain and public embarrassment. They framed it as a clear example of why trying to change someone who keeps showing you who they are rarely works. From the outside, it looked like a full-on mess that never really slowed down. Some people also pointed out that Cardi later being linked to someone with a similar reputation didn't come out of nowhere. When you really step back and look at the full picture, it explains why she didn't hesitate or overthink it. Her tolerance level had already been stretched for years, and by then, the damage was already done. This wasn't Cardi randomly waking up one day and deciding she was done with her marriage. Something happened that completely shifted how she saw Offset, their relationship, and everything she had been holding together behind the scenes. Even the people closest to her knew she had endured non-stop cheating, humiliation, and disrespect for a long time. But this situation crossed into a different category. According to reports, Offset didn't just hurt the relationship, he destroyed trust on multiple levels at once. And while Hennessy may not have been at fault, the fallout still left lasting marks. When something that personal hits that close to home, dynamics change permanently. Distance sets in, things get awkward. Some bonds never fully recover. Now the marriage is officially over, and the family dynamic isn't what it used to be. Cardi is moving like someone who finally hit her breaking point. Apologies, explanations, or silence don't really matter anymore. The chapter is closed. The only real question left is how much more of this story still hasn't come to light. When you zoom out and look at the entire situation, it becomes clear that this wasn't just about infidelity anymore. Cardi had already survived years of public embarrassment, non-stop rumors, and disrespect that played out in real time for millions to see. She absorbed it, explained it away, and even defended it when people questioned her choices. That kind of patience doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes slowly, chipped away by repeated moments that make you question your own worth. What finally changed was how personal the situation became. Once the drama stopped being confined to the marriage and started affecting her family, the rules shifted. People can rationalize cheating. They can forgive patterns. But when boundaries blur inside your inner circle, especially involving someone you trust deeply, it creates a kind of damage that doesn't fade easily. That's when survival instincts kick in, and loyalty to yourself starts outweighing loyalty to the relationship. This also explains why Cardi's family reportedly stopped staying neutral. Families can tolerate a lot when they believe something can be fixed. But when they see repeated cycles causing emotional harm, concern turns into urgency. According to reports, the pressure for Cardi to walk away didn't come from gossip or outsiders. It came from people who had watched her carry the weight privately for years while smiling publicly. At the same time, it helps explain Cardi's emotional shift afterward. She wasn't moving like someone confused or unsure. She was moving like someone who had already processed the worst part in silence. By the time the public caught on, she had already reached her conclusion. That's why there was no dramatic back and forth, no long explanations, no attempts to rewrite the narrative. She simply stopped engaging the way she used to. In the end, this wasn't about revenge or proving a point. It was about recognizing that some lines, once crossed, change how you see someone forever. The marriage didn't end because of one mistake. It ended because of accumulated damage that finally reached a breaking point. And when that happens, there's no fixing it with apologies, gestures, or time. You don't argue anymore. You don't explain anymore. You just move forward, knowing that staying would cost you more than leaving ever could. When you really sit with everything that's come out, it's clear this wasn't a random breakup or an impulsive decision. This was the result of years of buildup, private pain, and situations piling on top of each other until there was nothing left to justify staying. Cardi didn't leave because the internet told her to. She didn't leave because of headlines. She left because something happened that permanently changed how she saw her marriage and the people involved in it. At some point, love stops being enough to excuse repeated disrespect. At some point, loyalty turns into self-betrayal. And when that realization hits, there's no dramatic announcement or drawn-out explanation. You just move differently. You stop defending, you stop arguing, you stop trying to convince yourself that things will magically improve. That's exactly how Cardi has been moving, like someone who already grieved the relationship before the public even knew it was over. What makes this situation even heavier is the ripple effect. When a relationship collapse starts affecting family dynamics, trust, and emotional safety, the damage goes beyond two people. Even if everyone involved didn't intend for things to go this far, intent doesn't erase impact. And once that kind of line is crossed, there's no clean reset button. Things shift, bonds change, silence replaces closeness. That's the part nobody likes to talk about, but it's real. This also puts a lot of the past into perspective. The defending, the patience, the forgiveness, the public explanations that never fully satisfied anyone. It wasn't weakness. It was someone trying to hold a family together while carrying more than most people could handle. But even the strongest people have a limit, and once that limit is hit, there's no going back to how things were before. Now Cardi is moving forward, not loud, not reckless, just firm. And that kind of quiet decision-making usually comes from clarity, not confusion. Whatever else comes out later, one thing is clear. This chapter is done. The marriage is over. The dynamic has changed, and no apology, explanation, or damage control can undo what's already been felt. The only real question now is what else is still sitting under the surface, waiting to come out. Because with situations like this, the full story rarely drops all at once. Time always has a way of pulling more truths into the light.